Welcome to FSHD Straight Talk, the podcast where we dive deep into living with FSHD. I'm your host, Tim Hollenbach, and I'm on the journey with you. Having FSHD, I understand the challenges it brings to patients and their families. We're in this together, and this podcast is a space where we swap stories, share advice, and talk to experts to get the latest news. There's plenty to say about living with FSH muscular dystrophy, so let's get straight to it. So as promised, we have a fantastic pair with us, kind of a power group of cyclers. This is an amazing event that was kind of brought to my radar here recently, and had to get Ally and Geroge on to talk about this great event. I don't want to take any of their thunder, so welcome. Thanks, guys, for being here. Again, Geroge, Ally, you guys have been on the show several times. Always great to talk with you. Always great to see you. Your enthusiasm is unbelievable. You're relentless people to this cause. And why don't you share with us, what are you guys up to this time?
Sure. You want me to start?
Yeah, go for it, George.
Yeah, great. So Tim, thank you. We've been on your show several times, and I appreciate what you do for our community. It's so important and so powerful. Being here in Florida and being a Steeler fan, it's always great to see the yellow colors in the back. That's always a good thing. Absolutely. So dating myself, I was a Steeler fan before Buccaneer fan because there were no Buccaneers here when I
played
football.
Wow.
I played for the Brandon Steelers Little League football team. So
there when you go.
Good, so it was a good team to follow. And it's a great.
I knew we had more in common than FSHD.
Yeah. And it's one of the best. You know, you think about what we do with FSHD Society. The Steel organization is an organization we should all try to emulate. Right? They're the best of the best of the best. Right. Yes. So it's great to follow them. But having said that, we've been on the show Ally has too. We've been on the show a couple of times for various reasons, and now we've come together. Obviously, we're all in it for the same goal, to find a cure here and treatments for FSHD, and we need the entire collective community to work on this together, and that's what we're doing. Quick background, I've been raising lots of money for the society since 2017 when I put Team FSHD Cycling together, and we raced across the country and the race across America in 7 days in 2017.
Wow.
Yeah. We did well, raised a bunch of money, thought I'd never do it again. A friend of mine talked me into it, and we did it in 2019 in 6 days and raised double the money. So, and we've continued to do that with race across the west of Durango, and then a lot of one-day events. Last year was triple bypass in Colorado, which the society's been involved in for a while. And then this year, I was looking at what to do. I did a bunch of gravel racing over the summer, all over Kansas, Colorado, Montana. Just trying to stay in shape, I think, at least get my sanity checked. But in any event. Ally and I were speaking at the Patient Connect conference a year ago, and I knew about the Tour de Tuscon. It's a great marquee race. There's 10,000 people, the biggest road race in America. It's gone on for 42nd years. And my sense was, well, it's a great event to go do, but more importantly, it's another great platform, and they support charitable organizations on their website, and they make it easy with the links, and they promote all of it. So it was a great opportunity to pick a different event that's really epic to ride. And speaking with Ally, my thought process, having met her and Sam and Kristen, was let's do something for early onset. We're it's been ignored, and with Ally and that chapter group, and even at the society now, and other folks around the world, and FSHD Global is doing an MRI study with kids right now. There's a lot of mind share on this right now, and we can accelerate this. And I'll let Ally share, sort of the roadblocks with clinical trials and getting a drug to a child or someone with early onset as they grow up. So our focus is to go raise some money specifically for early onset. It all goes back through the FSHD Society. It's just call it a pocket of money that will be directed to all early onset projects to accelerate cures and treatment. So. It's different studies, different research studies. Like I said, there's some MRI work that's going on that's very, very helpful. To me, it's a no-brainer with children because they accelerate so badly with the muscle loss. And therefore, if they're in a trial or ultimately can get a drug, it would seem to me that if we can figure out how to measure it, whether the biomarker or the MRI, we're going to know a lot sooner with a kid, child, early teen, whether the drug's working or not. It just seems to make common sense. But there's ethical issues, there are real physical issues with kids before puberty. There's a lot of reasons where it has to be really careful, unless it's a SMA or Duchenne's that only affects children, and you've got to get a drug to the children, or they're gonna die before they're 2 or 3. So so we've come together collectively. Ally's riding it, her sister's riding it, Kristen's riding it, Eva's riding it. Now we found Tom's riding it. So we're going to be out there. We're going to, host a dinner Thursday night, and, probably get together Friday morning and do a ride somewhere around town. And then Saturday morning, just sort of control chaos, get to the line and get to the finish line. And then,
you said 10,000 riders, 10,000 you said?
Yeah. And I don't, it's probably a couple thousand in the 100 and a couple thousand in the 60. And then I think there's a shorter ride. So it gets all scattered out, and they they schedule it so everyone doesn't leave at one time.
Makes sense.
So it should be, it's a world-class town, it's a world-class ride, it's a world-class road. So it's world-class riders at the pro level. So there's a lot of mind share here at this event. It's a great event, and it's, I'm looking forward to participating.
Have you done this one before, George, before this?
No, haven't done Tour de Tucson. I've ridden in Tucson. When we drove out to race across the West in 2021, we stopped in Tucson for 2 nights and rode a couple of days. So I had been there, I have friends there that ride. It's a great bike racing community. A bunch of pros live there. It's a bunch of endurance ultra runners all live in Arizona. So it's my mantra of movement is medicine fits in this state, in this city. Everyone's moving all the time. And they'll continue to move. And it's whether we have this disease or not, we have to move. And if you're not moving, you're doing yourself and your family. And I'll say this, may not go over well, but if you're not moving, you're doing a disservice for yourself and your family.
I agree.
You just gotta, Peter Attia was on 60 Minutes. He's a longevity doctor, wrote the book Outlive, a lot of YouTube content. He was on 60 Minutes Sunday night, and he talked about the last decade of life. And usually at 75, it falls off the plate. And there's no reason for that. There's no reason for that at all. But it happens because people don't move when they're 30 or 20 or 15 or 40 or 50. And I'm not saying you got to go do stuff what I do. I may need a mental check on 110-mile bike races, but just do something.
It's your thing.
It doesn't matter. I tell people this story. My grandmother lived to 100. She never lifted a weight or ran a 5K, but she never stopped moving. My mother's in her 80s. She works in the garden in Florida for an hour. That's a heck of a workout. So
that is.
You just have to move. It doesn't matter. Find something you like. I mean, if you don't like anything, just walk around the block and talk to your friends. You've got to move.
Walking alone.
Have to move.
If you can walk.
Start somewhere. And it's all about starting. If you can't convince yourself to go an hour, then go 5 minutes. And at 5 minutes, you'll probably go another hour, and it'll be better for you. But consistency is so, it's just so important. I think more important for us with a muscle disease, because if we don't move, we're going to lose it quicker.
Yes.
Feel a lot worse, but for everyone on the planet, there's no excuse.
Yeah, the way I see it, it's I'm going to be sore no matter what, so I might as well move or work out or something.
I think so. And I'd be a little sore from using my muscle than not. You're right. That's a good way to put it.
Right. It's going to hurt anyway, so I might as well do this.
Exactly.
Even though it's tough. Yeah, I know. It's not always easy for everybody.
It's tough.
Now, Ally, you're not just sitting on the sidelines. Like George alluded to, like you're riding too. Like you've been in training, you're doing this. Like you're jumping on the bike as well. You're hitting the cycle.
And thanks, George, for gathering us all together and doing this, and especially for doing this for the early onset. Kristen and Debbie and I, and like you said, a lot of other people have been shouting from the rooftops about early onset and the kids for a long time. So thank you so much for putting a spotlight on this and for raising some money. And like you said, the FSHD Society is committed to putting this in a bucket for initiatives for early onset. And there are a lot of things that we can do to help expedite kids in trials, which would then expedite them getting a treatment along with everybody else. And that's what we want. We don't want a treatment to come and it only be available to mildly affected adults who are right now in the clinical trials. We want to make sure that if there's a family and they all have FSHD and a parent has it, and maybe an older child in a wheelchair and maybe a younger child under 18, that everybody can go to the doctor and everybody can get prescribed whatever treatment it is, and the insurance will pay for it. But there's some hoops that we have to jump through to make sure that that's a reality. And right now, that's what our main focus on, is getting those non-ambulatory adults, which a lot of them had FSHD as a young child, either early onset, which technically is is described as symptoms under age 10, but a lot of them are also, teens. And then if the early onset, 40% of them are non-ambulatory or wheelchair bound by the time they're 17. So their muscles, like George said, are deteriorating at a rapid rate because they haven't had time to build muscle before the DUX4 is destroying it, and then they grow up and they're adults, or young adults, and they're in chairs, and then they have all these other comorbidities like respiratory function issues, and it's deadly. There's no other way to put it. Once you can't breathe, and then you have to have all these interventions, you get a cold, you can't clear it, and a lot of folks in our community unfortunately have died from that, and a lot of them disproportionately have been the ones that got it when they were younger. So if we could intervene while they're young, preserve their muscle, preserve their health, and those that have grown up with it are in wheelchairs, are also outside, the inclusion criteria, they need that treatment as well. So that's our main focus, and this money will help. Like George said, all the nonprofits came together and they funded this Australian study. Dr. Ian Woodcock had a bunch of MRIs on kids, 50 scans, and just sitting there. And Springbok has this outstanding AI that they can, run the scans through and predict how it's going to progress and do all the cool AI things. And I made a phone call, and all the nonprofits, Chris Carino, FSHD Canada, Friends of FSH, FSHD Society, Global, they all come together and said, this is important. So money does move things forward.
Yeah.
It does. And that's tangible things that we can use to give to the pharmaceuticals or research to say, yes, we need to get these folks involved so that then treatments can be available to them.
It sounds like move things forward. George is talking about physically getting moving. You're bringing the two movements together, right? I mean, you need to kind of get moving to help raise the money to get the other things moving. Movement is key. It sounds like you guys have made this a theme. This is, movement is like what this is about here. So, Ally, we talked about different kind of, events that are happening within this. George, sounds like you're doing the 102 mile. That's insane to me. That's a lot of miles on a cycle. And then, Ally, which one are you doing? You're doing quite a few as well, though, as far as you told me, right? 62 miles?
So, yeah, it's called a metric century. So it's 63 miles. Myself, my sister-in-law are doing the 63 mile. Eva Chin's coming down from Solve. She's going to ride the 102 mile. Kristen's coming from Boston. She's going to ride the 32 miles. So we got everything covered. We got all our bases covered. We got representation across pretty much all the mileage.
That is awesome. That's awesome. And how can people get involved to raise money? Because that's why we're here. Where do they got to go? Is it FSHD Society? Do you have a web page out there? Is it social? Is it both?
It's both. We have the link. So El Tour de Tucson has a website, and there's a charity link, and it links right to the FSHD Society and links to our pages. So we have separate pages, but it's all going to the same bucket. And then Ally and myself have in the society as well here in a couple of days. They are promoting the event as well. The links are in all of our social media, Instagram, Facebook. And then on the society as well, we'll have links to the various donations. It doesn't matter if it's my link or her link. It's all going to the same place. It's all going to the same place. We're collectively trying to raise a bucket of money, and we'll keep doing it till we hit our goal.
What's the training like for this event? Kind of, this one's to you, Ally, because I don't know how much cycling you've done prior. If you're anybody like me, probably not a lot outside of back in the day. So what's been that build up, getting yourself ready?
So I used to run a lot, and then my knees kind of gave out on me. But so then I switched to cycling, but nothing this far. So my sister-in-law and I, we kind of downloaded a training program and stuff, and we've been going out and riding so I ride on the indoor bike normally during the week, and then the weekends we meet and we'll go on a long ride. We just did a 43 miler last last
Oh,
weekend.
okay.
So we're building up. I think we're going to try and do 50 this weekend to build up. Kristen's been doing the same thing,
Mm.
getting on the bike indoors and then going outdoors and doing longer rides. Because
It-
it's not just I've learned it's not
Mhm.
just the muscles in your legs, it is your muscles, but you have to think about, and George, you can talk more about this because you know, George's a machine, Pollock, I am not,
Yeah.
but it's nutrition, it's like staying
Yeah.
hydrated and getting like the goos and stuff in you
Yeah.
and getting your body used to just being on a bike in that position on the seat and bent over
Yeah.
for all those hours. It's a lot of that. So you do need to get on the bike to get your body conditioned to sit
Mhm.
that way.
Yeah. So like, what's like your training tips, George, for this type
Yeah,
of thing?
Ally hit it exactly right. And this, I'm looking for this road 100 miles. This is gonna sound crazy. I'm hoping it's gonna be one of my easier rides this year because I did several 110-mile gravel races. And
Rabble.
that's on a gravel bike, a road bike, but wider tires on dirt, crazy, sketchy roads up and down that take 6.5, 7 hours. So I'm looking forward to the smooth roads, which what I do more in Tampa versus Colorado. But she's right. These are bike rides, but once you get above 1 or 2 hours, they become, these epic adventures where everything's got to be dialed in. So
Mm.
the most complicated thing for me on a bike is going downhill because these muscles are so weak that I'm in agony after a ride like where there's a lot of downhill. I'm in really,
Yeah.
really, because there's just a lot less muscle structure there to hold the bike up and the neck up, and that's the worst part. So I do, I lift light weights to try to get some get used to it and get some strength to it. But that's the worst part for
Mhm.
me. I've modified my bike. I use a lot shorter cranks, which is a sort of a thing now with the pros, but I did it with testing where because of my leg, foot drop, and muscle
Mhm.
weakness, to get the pedal over the top of the stroke and try to pedal one-legged, I couldn't do it. And we went to shorter cranks and it made a big difference. So I'm
Mm.
spinning more versus using
Okay.
more power as I lose muscle, which
Yeah.
allows me to still, go decently fast. So I made some adjustments like that. My muscles have adjusted as well. The shin muscle's gone, the left calf muscle is gone, but the muscles on the side of my lower legs are much bigger because they're compensating. Unfortunately,
Mhm.
my quads are still good. Hamstrings are
Okay.
not that good. But back to this, adventure thing. Once you get above 1 or 2 hours, riding is part of it. Fuel is the other part. If you go short on, and you have to start early, if you go short on food or water, you're in trouble.
Mm.
You're in big trouble. And a lot of people fail on that. So you've got to be very prescriptive about eating.
Mhm.
And eating doesn't start that day. Eating starts weeks before. I mean, it should be all the time, but it starts for an
Yeah.
event, certainly a week before, where you're eating better, you're getting carbs in with protein, so you keep muscle. You're hydrating way before, electrolytes a week before. So you got to build some of it up, and then morning out, and then the day of, you've got to be all over nutrition. When I did Up Down Gravel in May, that's the biggest gravel race in the world. I did the 109 mile. The pros and do the 200 mile a little too far. I didn't want to do that. I didn't wanted to get home before dark, but it was warm. May 31st, I went through 14 bottles of hydration, water, electrolytes, salt stuff, carbs, 14 bottles in 6.5 hours. So if you miss that, and there, one of the pro women who ended up finishing second, she had a miraculous recovery. She missed her feed a third of the way in and rode with 3 hours with no water. She was
Whoa.
almost on the fringe of you're in trouble. You're not going to finish. You're in trouble health wise, where
Yeah.
you're going to have to get picked up by 911. They're going to call 911 and pick you up in an emergency vehicle.
Yeah.
And she was able to
Oh.
get through that. So it's the
Wow.
nutrition is critically important. I'm learning. So I'm sort of, you go ride big miles and get fit. I try something different for this event. I'm using a company called Trainer Road, and that's an AI based training.
Mhm.
You pay them, I don't know, $20 a month or something, and they iteratively look at what you're doing, and they suggest
Mm.
workouts for you. And the workouts are a lot shorter than what I'm used to doing. And when I started, I'm like, this is really easy. I'm running an hour and a half, no big deal. But it's fairly structured. And I sent him a note. I said, listen, I'm doing a 4.5 hour race, and all my workouts for 6 or 8 weeks are 1.5 hours. And I said, it just seems odd to me. And
Yeah.
they go, what's proven is the structured workouts where you're going shorter, but you're doing different types of intervals and testing different stresses of the system. So you're riding, you're riding at threshold on your power. You're going above that. You're holding it. You're coming down. So it's much more structured effort with, and I put in, I'm 58 years old. So I said, you could do a super aggressive plan, a super easy plan, or I said, I want a balanced plan. So the balanced plan was, 4 days, sometimes 5 days of riding, hour and a half, 2 hours, maybe, but structure to it. And not a lot of, there's effort, there's hard days, but it's 1 or 2 days a week max. And I'm finding that instead of riding 6 days a week and putting in 250 miles, you're cumulative getting fatigued. And then you can't do those interval workouts like you should. Certainly when you're older too, you don't recover as well. So, I did a 400-mile week a month ago in North Carolina. I rode across North Carolina at 6 days, 400 miles. A little bit of climbing, but by day 2, I was really fatigued. And day 4 and 5, you're just hanging on. Meaning you're just trying to get through it. You have really no ability to crank up your effort because you're so tired. So, and I sent them a note and I go, listen, I've done this a lot. I raced a bunch of long races and your workout recommendations are all pretty short. Should I go longer? And they go, well, this works. It's structured. It works. Keep to it. You're going to get more rest than you ever thought. So you're going to be able to do those harder workouts easier and better and better quality. And they said, you should go ride a couple of 3-4 hour rides, but really, really not so much for fitness, for dialing everything else in, your bike, your fuel, your nutrition, make sure the gels or foods or whatever you eat, you can tolerate them, which you never do something new on the day of a race. So it's really been interesting, the concept here. And the reason I say that is you can go ride 30, 40, 60 miles with with the right training. I was going to not a lot of training, with the right training. So Ally's doing it right, getting some longer rides in, going a little bit faster, going a little bit slower. But as you get more experience and you know your body better, you can go out and ride 5 or 6 hours or 4 or 5 hours a week and go ride a metric century and do pretty good. Wow. It's just back to my mantra, just do something, anything.
Just do something. Well, and then you use the tools that you can. There's no doubt when you're talking about the company or the AI you use, George, for your workout routine. Why can't an average person say, hey, AI, I need to hit this goal. What kind of routine should I be?
You go to ChatGPT today and put that in.
Exactly.
You'll get a workout. You go, I need a 60-day workout plan. I'm going to ride 60 miles at 15 miles an hour. I can ride 4 days a week, an hour a day. Give me a plan.
Yep. And it'll spit it right out for you. You got ads now for it.
It doesn't give you the iteration. The only difference is without Trainer Road AI, it doesn't give you the iteration. So when I ride, if I ride a hard ride or two hard days, it'll tell you your last couple of days have been overreaching. We're going to dial it back.
Gotcha.
Or you're more rested and we're going to dial it up. So it doesn't give you that, the learning model part of it, but it's good enough. It's good enough. I've never used AI before in 38 years. I've just done my own or downloaded some some workout plans that are static, and you just work with them and tweak them on your own. So there's really no excuse. Just go.
Yeah, just do it. You talk about nutrition and water, Ally and George, and you keep yourself hydrated, eating. How does this work? Okay, I am not I've never done anything like this close to what you guys are tackling. And the closest thing I can think of is when I hiked the Grand Canyon end to end when I was like 14. That's a long time ago. That's a long time ago, man. I'm 50. Okay. The thoughts crossed my mind to do it again even recently, but I'm like, dude, I'm 50. The point is like, where are you putting the water? Is someone handing it to you? Is there checkpoints? Like, ride us through this. Like, where you get, do you have a backpack? Like, how does this work that you're getting the nutrition you need and the water and like all that?
Yeah. Yes, and yes. So carry it. There's rest stops. So I'm just for this ride, because it's hopefully 4.5, 5 hours, I'm going to try not to stop. So I'm going to wear a backpack with water, and I'm going to carry 2 bottles with 100 carbs of liquid in both bottles. That's 200 carbs. And then I'm going to carry gels for the most part, maybe some sort of bar. I'll probably carry 500 grams of carbs.
Okay.
I do 80 to 100 an hour. That's the reason that the pros are so fast now is science is moved forward, and the
Mhm.
gut can handle a lot more carbs than with the food that's made today versus 20 years ago you couldn't. So it's really progressed, and and we all can benefit from that. If you got to keep your energy levels topped up. If you're on a ride, yeah, I can feel it. If I'm into a ride and you start to feel lethargic because you're running out of fuel, you take a gel and you'll feel better. And some absorb quicker, some absorb slower. It depends on how much you take in, but it's you carry some, and there's rest stops. There'll be rest stops all over the place. So they want you to make
They
sure
want you to be
it's
safe,
okay. You want
obviously.
everyone to be safe. So you stop, you get water, you get electrolyte drink, you eat some food, just stay really topped off. You don't want to overdo it. You don't want to drink too much. And then you get bloated. But if you can drink a bottle an hour, and if it's hot, 2 bottles an hour, you're fine. You just got to force yourself to do it.
Yeah. Now, Ally, there's one thing between having, George kind of approaching you, I think you said, right, and said, hey, I want to do something just for early onset. This is my idea. There's a ride. I don't recall in like you telling that part of the story where he asked you, hey, would you ride with? So like, when did you jump on and go, you know what, I'm doing this too?
I don't know. I think immediately. I mean, if I can do it, I mean, gosh, I listen to George and he has muscular dystrophy.
He volunteered.
I know, right? He fires you up, man.
Like, I have no excuse. I don't have FSHD. I'm doing this for my son and George and you and everybody else who has it. But, it just goes to, George says this a lot. Like I'm friends with him on Facebook and follow him on Instagram. He's just, and one of his hashtags is do hard things. And I ran a marathon back in 2018, and me and my sister-in-law trained for that. And it was tough, but I finished it, and it was a hard thing to do. And when you do hard things, it gives you a confidence, and it gives you sort of the fortitude to know that you can go out and do other hard things. And maybe they're not physical hard things, but like I've been battling this, trying to get kids into trials and banging my head against the wall with regulatory and all the things, and they're hard endurance kind of things. And just knowing that, it all kinds of goes together in your character, that if you do hard things, you can do hard things in a lot of different ways, right? And I think George is 100% right. And I mean, he's a great role model for, not just because he has muscular dystrophy, just because of his mantra of get out there and do hard things. And again, it doesn't just apply to physical endurance. It applies to life. Like you got to have some grit in life, and you got to do hard things. And I think people with FSHD, they do face that every single day. They have to have grit and determination every single day. And sometimes just to get through the day. So if they can get through the day, I think about when my muscles start hurting and I'm riding, I'm like, my son's muscles hurt all the time. I just think about him. I just like the pedal. I just think Sam. And if he can hurt, I can damn well hurt a little bit too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Love's a big motivator, man. Especially
that's a
doing
good
it for your
point.
kid.
I did the ride across North Carolina with a very good friend of mine who was crew on Ram in 2017. He raced the race across the West in 2019. That was 4 people, 1,000 miles. And he influenced me to do this ride across North Carolina. And 3 days in, we're riding, and it's hard, the hills. I think we started getting rained on. And the only good thing about having this disease is all your friends are never going to complain. So he rode up and he goes, God, this is really hard and I'm hurting, but I'm never going to complain because you're riding this with muscular dystrophy. So I just better shut my mouth. And I go, you shut your mouth.
That's why I'm like, geez, I need to shut my mouth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tim, is back to, we talked about this 2 shows ago with triple bypass. This is, remember the term Misogi?
Yes, I believe
Mike Leaster's book, Comfort Crisis. So every year, and Ally just referenced it, do hard things. Every year, everyone should do a Misogi. And it's a Japanese term that Mike Leaster, who wrote Comfort Crisis, sort of coined it and said, we've all gotten too comfortable in life, and you need to stress yourself in a physical and mental way. And the Misogi, if you remember, had 3 rules, right? It was 1, pick some event. It could be formal or informal. You could walk around the block carrying a rock. It doesn't matter. Or you could sign up for a race. But literally sign up for do something that's hard enough where you only have a 50% chance of finishing.
Okay.
Right? And it's not, and I had a Misogi in February and we didn't finish. Not finishing is not failure. Back to what Ally was just referencing to. It's about the experience and the journey along the way. You're going to learn a whole lot. We rode 160 miles on a 330-mile mountain bike race in February, rode 80 miles the next day. We were 215 with 80 to go, and we had to pull the plug for logistics reasons. We just didn't do it right. But did we fail? No. We just couldn't finish that event, right? So you learn how to do it better and you get smarter about it. So one, 50% chance of finishing. 2, have fun. 3, don't die. That's it. Those are the rules.
That's it. Especially the last one.
Do whatever you want. Yeah, that's it.
Just don't die.
Yeah, that's it.
That's great advice in all parts of life, not just something strenuous or athletic or a difficult task. Have fun, right, is key.
Right.
I'm sure you, in the midst of it though, are you going to try to remind yourself, this is fun, I'm having fun? When like a part of you, George, you're talking about your shoulders. I mean, I can visualize this, man. I mean, I've ridden a bike recently. I can barely hold my body weight, up. I'm like, this is terrible. That's not what I anticipated, right? I thought my legs would give me more trouble than my upper body when I was trying to bike. But if I say to myself, maybe, hey, this is supposed to be fun. Even in the heat of if it's competition or the pain or the workouts or the preparedness or the event itself and it's strenuous, do you think that helps get a human through the toughest parts?
Yeah, I mean, the third is always the hardest part because you got a lot of energy to start.
Yeah.
And then you hit that middle part and like, I got a long way to go. And you get the last third and you're like, okay. And I think this one, the last third's almost like triple bypass where it's a lot of downhill.
Okay.
Easy downhill. But that middle part's the hardest part. But I'll tell you, one of the most encouraging or most, I'm trying to think of the right word. It's enjoyable I don't know what the right word is, but on the North Carolina ride, we're out there for 6 days. Our kits that we wear, the jerseys and the pants, right on the back of it in big letters, it says #Cure FSHD. And that's on purpose because this is awareness. We're raising some money, but it's also about awareness.
Yeah.
And 2 dozen, 3 dozen people at least asked us what it is. I wear the hat to the happy hours. Hey, what is that? You're on a ride. Hey, what is that? And you just sit and you spend the time and tell them about it. Like, I didn't even heard of that. Oh yeah, I think my cousin had that. Or, a lot of doctors will see it, or it seems like nurses have heard about it more for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But it's all you're educating the entire time and you're building awareness the entire time. That's part of why we're out there to do it and why it's branded that way. And that's why FSHD is in big letters, because people see it, and then cycling team, and they inquire in big letters on the back.
Yeah.
People ask, lots of people ask, and they'll see it, or they may know somebody of somebody, or they'll know, something about it or nothing about it. Every time we're educating someone and making someone aware. We're not raising any money from those folks. Doesn't matter. They now know.
Right.
And they're going to come across somebody in their life that has it or has these symptoms that, they're going to say, listen, maybe you go to the doctor, or your parents have that. Maybe there's a genetic thing there, and go get tested. I mean, my wife was a pediatric intensive care nurse. This is 30 years ago. The young girl finally passed away in her early 20s, but she had SMA. We knew the family very well. There's a drug now, one and done drug that cures SMA. 2 years ago, she was talking to another friend of hers whose friend's child had SMA, and said, my kid's going to die. She's a baby. And Jane said, there's a cure. And they're like, what? They go talk to your doctor right now. And the little girl qualified. It got paid for $2 million. She's alive, essentially cured. So my point is awareness. You just got to keep doing it. Educate, aware. It's every time. I'm not shy to talk about it. I wear the hat all the time, and I wear and I'll talk about it anywhere I'm at, 24 hours a day. Not for me. If drug comes out, great, but it's kids, and it's not fair. It's devastating, and we got to stop it. And we have the power to do it. And AI is going to help a lot. Big data is going to help a lot. Internet helps a lot. There's everything we have the tool set now. It's just, we're dealing with something that's so incredibly complex that you just got to keep working at it.
Yeah. Just keep working hard at it. So it's awesome having you guys on, talking about this event. I'm excited to see how it goes. Is there a way that, is there any tracking and people like see how it's going, or at least know the end result? 'Cause I'm sure there's a money goal you're also trying to hit. So let's share a little bit of that. Can they track you or follow you, or at least know the end result? And what's your goal that you're trying to raise?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess there's a tracker on there. Obviously, there's results at the end that get posted. We're going to try to do, and I'm not good at this because then you just forget. We're trying to do
Yeah.
better about social media on Thursday and Friday and Saturday when we're all together. Friday
Mhm.
when we're on the ride, Saturday when we start after. So we're going to try to do a lot better job of that and actually do. I'm speaking for Ally a little bit, but I know Sam can do a lot of this with the video.
Yeah,
He's really good. If you saw
he
his
is good.
video, he's just really good at it. I'm hacking away. Um, but we're going to try to do a better job of posting and live video stuff and interview type stuff and talk to more people. So that week, we're going to really hit it. I'm going to post every week something, just with the training. And then we're going to try to do quite a bit that week and speak to it. I think we're looking to raise $30,000. We're at 10
Okay.
or so today. We'll get there. That's
Absolutely, you will.
yeah, yeah, we'll get there. That's we can raise more, great, but we'll raise the 30. That's our goal.
Nice.
I already put Sam on standby. He's a social media standby that we're gonna put some updates and he's gonna put some stuff together for us. So
Nice.
they'll know the results and hopefully afterward we can post something to say, hey, this is what we did and thank you all for
Mhm.
supporting this. And I intend on, keeping people updated on what we're using this money for. Like, yeah, you
Mhm.
help give us money and this is what we're doing and this
Yeah.
is how it's helping, because I think that feedback loop is important, that yeah, you give and
Mhm.
sometimes you don't really
Right.
know how that money's
Right.
being used. And if
Truth.
we can communicate that and say, hey, we raised $30,000 or whatever it is we did, and this is what we've used the money for, and this is how it's helping,
Mhm.
specifically this group.
Mhm.
We want a cure for everybody,
Right.
and but this group particularly to help that how we've helped, maybe further that cause.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah. To George's point earlier, why you've been fighting so hard to shine a brighter light on this group that has not been before. The amazing job you've done to do so, and now getting on a bike to do it as well. Can't really, say you haven't put your money where your mouth is. You know what I mean? Like, you got it on your back, you're riding it, and appreciate that as huge undertaking, not to take in lightly. It's all the training, the time, the commitment both of you guys are putting into it. I appreciate it for someone that has the disease. I'm sure all the young people do that have this disease that want to get that cure to them as well, right? That is the ultimate goal, no matter how much is raised. So any other final thoughts before I let you guys go? Yeah.
Well, I'm going to bandwagon one more time because I had two recent conversations over the last 2 weeks with patients. One
Mhm.
gentleman I know very well. I met him through business, actually. He was an audit partner, but I caught up with him today. He is now really confined to a wheelchair.
Mm.
He was well, he had symptoms at 16, wasn't diagnosed for later because they had no idea what was going on. He was a little bit older, but we were talking about physical therapists, and he works out 4 days a week and he's in a
Wow.
wheelchair. So he keeps moving, and every day he's out, whatever, it doesn't matter, going to Starbucks, just getting out. And
Yeah.
then another gentleman I met just recently retired, late 60s. He's now riding a recumbent bike because he can't
Mhm.
walk and he can't really ride a regular bike with balance. But
Yeah.
the point is, they're out there doing it.
Mhm.
They're moving, and I jumped on the FSHD fitness class a few months ago, and the woman there was teaching folks, they were all in wheelchairs, but doing yoga. I mean, if you
Yeah.
just literally, if you move your neck 3 minutes a day, you're better off. If you don't ever move your neck and then move it, if you can lift your arms, if you can extend your legs, whatever muscles you have, if you can use them, you're going to be better off. Just, you
Mhm.
got to put a little bit of stress on them if you can. I've always said, our goal here is to encourage everyone to move to their best of their ability.
Mm.
So everyone can. That's why we're riding. We're doing this because we can, and we're gonna do it as long as we can. And we need to, and we can show people we're out riding and show the videos. And I think it provides people with encouragement. But do whatever you can to the best of your ability. If you can't do it, I got it. But whatever you can do, as big or as little that is, you're way better off.
Mhm. Yep. Agreed.
And again, to kind of marry that with the advocacy, You know, everybody can do a little bit that way too.
Yeah.
Just as George said, you can talk about it, you can do what you can. You know, we're all one family, we're all one community. We all need to have skin in the game. You know, if we all work together for all of us, then we can all get there together. You know, I think there's a lot of things that people can do, even if it's something small, you know, writing letters to their congressman or helping out or whatever it is. You know, if we're all in this together, then we'll have it's more likely that we'll get there faster and then we'll all get there at the same time. So
Right.
yeah, we all need to just move when we can and join the movement when we can.
Beautiful. Beautifully put. Thanks, George. Thanks, Ally, for being on the show again. Awesome talking to you. Looking forward to the progress. I know you're not going to just hit that goal, guys, financially. I'm sure you're going to exceed it, knowing this community and you two spearheading this. Appreciate it. Thank you much.
Great, thank you.
Hi, I'm Sam Ray, and I have early onset FSHD, a form of muscular dystrophy that causes muscle weakness over time. Kids like Kate and I, with FSHD, can't ride bikes anymore. But this November, our moms, my aunt, and the FSHD Cycling team will be riding in Tour de Tuscon to support every kid growing up with FSHD. They'll take on the miles we can to bring treatments to us all. Right now, kids and non-ambulatory adults are left out of trials. That leaves the most severely affected individuals without a path to a treatment. Your donation can help change that. The funds raised will support critical research and advocacy to make sure everyone, no matter their age or ability, has a chance to benefit from the treatments that are on the horizon. I might not be able to ride, but every mile they pedal brings us closer to progress and inclusion, and brings hope to all living with FSHD. Together, we can make sure no one is left behind. Support the FSHD Cycling team during Tour de Tucson, and help us ride for a cure.
So thank you very much to George and Ally for joining us on this episode. That was fantastic. The conversation about such a difficult ride. I mean, and you know me, I had to ask logistics. I get deep in the weeds on things, and people that know me know that and are probably laughing. It's like, yeah, you need to drink all this water. You need to eat these foods and the gels and all this kind of stuff. How are you doing that logistically? I mean, you're on a bike, and like, how does that work? I was so glad George broke it down. I love the fact that Ally is jumping on the bike as well. She has experience in doing certain types of rides and is so encouraged by her son, how she put it. Every turn of that pedal, it'll be for Sam, for Sam. I love that. Love is a massive driver, right? It is a motivator. George also talked about how friends, when he's rode with them, of like, I'm not going to complain about Osorium because you're doing this and you have muscular dystrophy. I get that kind of same speech from either friends, especially my wife. I'm not going to complain Osorium today. I'm like, it's okay if you do. It's your soreness. I don't take offense. We can share in what that is. Movement. I said it before the episode started. I hope you kind of keyed in on that's what we were talking about. That's what they really wanted to tell you is like, hey, we got to move within our organization. We have to make movement and strides towards finding a cure for early onset people. Do not leave them behind. We are talking about how we're moving our bodies to raise that money. It is important to move your body to stay in shape, and I'm saying in shape like the best we can in the conditions we are in. George said at the end, even just moving your neck, even just doing little things like that, anything possible, fight the fight. Do not give in to sitting. I am guilty of it. I am not perfect. You see my physique on YouTube. I am not exactly a stout, ripped dude. I could definitely do a lot more. I kind of internally, as I listen to George talk about this or Ally talk about this, beating myself up like, man, right now you should be doing some more. Can you do more? Can you do one more rep? Can you do one more thing? Can you come up with some other way? I love the fact that that George uses AI. I'm going to look into that. Maybe I need something to kind of help guide me a little bit. I've tried some of the tricks you guys have, the PTs and the different types of yogas and things. It's always like, can you sustain it? Can you continue to do it? What's your goal? George talks about those three things, right? Set that goal on something difficult that you only have a 50% chance probably of completing. That'd be difficult to find maybe, but then the work or the effort to try to do that task to me is the real work. I've always thought about doing like one really very difficult thing. What could I put myself through that would be very physically difficult challenging, rewarding if I got through it, and could help raise money for this great community, I'm still knocking the idea around. I really want to do something similar to what these two are doing, what George does all the time. There's so many people I've had on this podcast that have inspired me. I need to take action on the inspiration, and I implore you to do the same thing. I hope this puts you into action. I hope this puts you into movement. Just amazing. And then lastly, don't forget to have fun. We only got one shot at this life, really, in my opinion, and we got to have fun doing it, no matter what that task is, how great or how difficult or how easy or how long or how sore we are when we're doing it. I'm going to hurt anyway. Might as well go for it. And I hope that you can kind of embrace that idea. I thank them for joining us. You can visit the website to donate of the ride itself. FSHD Society has links all over the place. There's links in the show notes. It's El Tour de Tuscon .org is the website. If you just Google that, you can find it very easily. There's easy ways to donate through their site directly to this cause of FSHD Society. As we said before, the money is going to be bucketed for this particular part of the cause. So they are going to embark on that 63-mile ride and 102-mile ride. So exciting. They launch on the 22nd of November. So we wish them luck. Wish them luck. So that's all I have for you today. Don't forget to email me, though. Follow the show as well. Share it with your friends. Email address is fshdradio@fshdsociety.org. We are nearing the end of the year. I know we will have more episodes to finish the year and into 2026. I'm excited to bring more guests for you. Fill my inbox up with some great ideas of how we can launch into the next year. Some great guests I know are waiting in the wings, and they're just looking to find somewhere to share their story. Please share it here. Love to hear from you. fshdradio@fshdsociety.org. Thanks again for joining us. Thank you again to George and Ally for doing everything you do, and everyone else in the community that works so hard, including FSHD Society's Aaron and Ann, who do an awesome job on the backside of this show, getting it out there every time. Love it. Such great support I get from them. And thank you all for the community support and the listenership of this program. We'll see you next time here on FSHD Straight Talk. Take care.